obviously thought, okay, this is going to happen. Was it still a shock when it did happen?
Oh yeah. That it's like, because my dad, he was actually given a 2-month life expectancy, man.
Your dad?
Yeah, and he fought on for 5.5, 6 years.
Why?
Whoa.
That is amazing. But at the same time, like, did you ever go, I've been through this with my dad, did you ever question why this was happening to you again?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, occasionally, I sort of have gone through the, why me? I sort of go, well, I look at my life in its entirety and I go, well, my parents, had a shitty marriage and got divorced, and then my dad got cancer and died, and now my husband's got cancer and died, and I'm like, oh, fuck, and I seem to have friendships and association with a lot of people that go through a lot of adversity and challenges in life, and I'm like, man, like, are we all like bad for each other or what? But it's just, it is what it is. I don't really reconcile any of it yet. But again, it's all that sort of stuff that just makes me, love life and family and friendships. And
because a lot of people just fall into a hole, but that's completely not what you've done.
No, and look, and Jim role modelled that to me. I mean, he taught me that.
Yeah.
But then, talking about mum before, like I think I've really been role modelled that sort of strength from my mum too. So I think the combination of my mum's strength and Jim's strength, I mean, it's, it's rubbed off, I suppose.
Yeah. And how are the kids now? Tiernan is a little boy, obviously, and Matisse is 12. How do they, a year on now, nearly, or over a year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do kids make sense of that?
Yeah, well, they're great. I mean, and in saying any of this, it's like, clearly I'd prefer, they haven't had to go through what they've gone through, but under the circumstances, they're great. Tiernan, he's just started playing football, which is so cute.
Yeah.
And
he's an amazing athlete, isn't he? Is he like Jim?
I don't know. I mean, people say things about, him and sport, and but I do see some of the qualities of Jim, sort of, whether he's playing basketball or football. And look, he's not necessarily the sort of, the kid on the court that's, shooting 100 goals or kicking 100 goals in football or anything, but he definitely sort of has similarities to Jim in almost his leadership, I suppose, would be the right word, or his stability on the court or the ground. I do see the similarity with Jim, with Tiernan, with those traits. And
would you want him to go on and play professional sport? Because I also know it is different than when Jim was playing, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, if he's talented and he wants to, sure. Yeah. But I'm by no means the pushy parent, saying you've got to play sport.
Yeah.
But he has a very natural, instinctive, maybe it's trying to find his identity in association with his dad that's no longer here.
Yeah.
And Jim started that with him, though. He used to take him down to Auskick and take him to the basketball and take a real interest in sport with Tiernan. So I think maybe Tiernan's just continuing that on as a connection to his dad, which is sort of sweet.
Yeah.
And I just think what will be, will be. Part of me thinks, if he goes down that path, good luck to him. And another part of me like, oh, go your own path.
Yeah,
but,
right. Yeah.
But it's okay. He's great. He loves it. And Matisse is really good. She's mature for, nearly 12.
Yeah.
So I've, if anything, been trying to, put her like a jack in the box and put her back in the box and say, stop growing up.
Yeah.
But, look, they're really great. They're, they're fantastic, happy at school. They talk freely about their dad.
Do you have it as a very open, anything you want to talk about, let's talk about?
Yeah, but also not OTT, because I sort of think, well, there's nothing worse than droning on and on and on and on. So, but so it's just a very natural discourse, and if it comes up organically, great. Yeah, so we don't sort of say, oh, let's sit down and talk
debrief,
about.
Yeah. Right.
So he's very much part of our life in that way.
Yeah, you still talk about him almost to the point that he still feels here. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes when people lose somebody, people don't know how to be around that person, where you almost make it okay for everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Because you very much are like, you bring up his name so people go, it's okay if I talk about him. it can be hard for other people to know how to treat you now. Do you find that?
I don't know. I mean, possibly. Oh gosh, it's funny because I haven't thought through that lens about...
No.
Yeah.
Which you definitely don't need
No,
to, but
yeah.
you make it easier for everyone else because you still very much, he's a part of our life. He's this and that. So you go, okay, we can talk about it with you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just think it's important, you know, it's like embracing everything about, you know, sadness and grief. It's, you know, not over the top embracing it, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, no one goes through life without sadness and grief. And actually, my friend's father died of cancer, of course. We were at his funeral last week, and the minister, when he was doing the service, I thought said something really lovely about grief and sadness and pain. And he said, you know, the price we pay for any type of love at some point in time is grief, sadness and pain. So I sort of think that's nice.
I know, it is nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes my Sam and I will sit there and go, what's the point of all of this? We're going to go through so much heartbreak.
I've been there though. Yeah, I mean, I have been there with with my fabulous ed psych. I remember going to her one time, and I used to, you know, I'd go in there and I'd be like, I'm, you know, frazzled balancing all this and kids and da-na-na-na-na. And yeah, at one time I went in there and I was just sitting there, tears, like I was there. I was like, what's the point? You know, I've just give up sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, so we worked through that. But I've been there.